Hello everyone, my name is Alberto, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, please consider subscribing, it's a great help for me. So this video is a bit different. As you might know, if you follow me, I mainly do sewing slash sort of crafty slash fashiony things. But as I did discuss some time ago, I do want to sort of branch out and do something that's more for basically my enjoyment and entertainment as well, or even just to sort of bring you a bit more into my life and not just my work. So hopefully it will be at least entertaining. So my parents have a country house, and in said house, my dad recently decided to grow a vegetable patch. I do love plants. In case you don't know, I have a lot, but it's mostly house plants. So I'm not really well versed on vegetables and other types of plants, but I decided it might be fun and interesting to sort of give it a go. We did try to grow some tomatoes on the balcony and some chilies last year, and it was mildly successful. I'm pretty sure it's not very difficult at all. But what we did was we went to a garden center and got little plants. I believe they're called plugs that you can get with, you know, peppers, tomatoes, whatever you want to grow, and then you just put those in the garden, or in our case in big pots, and they do eventually grow. But this year I decided to maybe try and grow something from seeds. Might be successful or not, but I'm sure it's gonna be a great experiment. What I have here is I got a bunch of seeds, got some flowers as well, just for prettiness, and some other experimental stuff like a giant bamboo, why not? But then we have white strawberry, we have a piper, which is the pepper plant, black pepper, we have a Japanese pumpkin, we have a white habanero chili, and we have Chinese cucumber. So what I did is I got these sort of modular trays thingies where you have these plastic trays with all the little pots where you place your soil and obviously your seeds. And then they include these, I'm assuming, like water trays to put them in, which is slightly confusing because these things don't have holes, but why not? And then they have these plastic covers. So basically they create kind of a little greenhouse environment, and they're supposed to help the seeds to sprout. So what we are gonna do is we're gonna plant them. And then in hopefully future videos, we're gonna see the progress and how it's going, and we're gonna grow a little vegetable garden and bamboo and a flower. Why not? So I got this plastic basin, I got some potting soil. This is normal sort of dark potting soil, but I did mix it with perlite. Perlite is these white granules that you can see. It's sort of like a airy, like clay-like substance that basically makes the soil a lot less heavy and helps to drain water, but at the same time it also retains some of the water, so it doesn't dry out too quickly. So it's very good. I do use it for my houseplants, and I thought it might be a good addition to this because, again, these things don't have holes, so they're not gonna drain. I'm gonna do a layer of soil. Let's do about like half. Okay, I filled mine sort of 3/4 of the way up. You don't want to bury the seeds too deeply, and also at the same time you don't want them to just poke out of the soil. I'm sure nothing too bad will happen, but just, you know, we're trying to be as clinical as possible here. So in case you don't know, basically these seed packets you can find everywhere. You can find them online or in garden centers, and behind they have a little instruction where it says where to plant them and how. It might be different between most of them. In general, they all want to be planted in March. Luckily, I can plant them all together. The difference might be because you can also plant these straight in the soil outside, but it might be too cold for that, so you might need to do that maybe in a couple more months. So for example, if we start with this Pineberry, which is a white strawberry, it looks a bit weird, but it's actually an all natural thing. It's not a hybrid. From what I know, it's just simply like a weird variety of strawberry. They say it tastes like pineapple. We do have plenty of strawberries already in there, so I know that that's gonna grow absolutely fine. So we're just gonna open this. Inside the packet we have these little packets. These are the seeds. They're not a lot and they're very tiny. So obviously we want to try and be as gentle as possible. If you hold them up in the light, you can see the seeds through it, and they do get stuck in like the corners, especially because these strawberry ones are incredibly tiny. Gonna try to be as gentle as possible and not lose them. When I did this in the past, by that I mean when I was a kid with my mom, I remember we used to do this to prepare like the little plants to plant then in the garden. We used stuff with much bigger seeds, so we used to do like 2 or 3 maximum per little pot because they don't all grow. But these are so tiny that I have to figure out how to do this. So I'm just gonna basically sprinkle these, trying not to put too many in one because again, you don't want them to be too crowded. I'm gonna do 2 of these rows with the strawberries. Now strawberries, in case you never grew them, they're actually quite of an annoying type of plant because they do survive a lot, especially in the winter, and they sort of expand and take over the garden completely. You could use these things called strawberry pots that are basically just very big pots with these kind of mouths on the side where you do put the strawberries and basically they just peek out of the sides and just live there. I mean, the garden, sometimes they just pop out everywhere. I mean, they're strawberries. Who doesn't like them? So I'm topping these with a sprinkle of soil. Again, just a little bit because these seeds are very tiny, otherwise they would sort of be just buried in there. Many people have different ideas and opinions on how to grow this stuff based on the seeds as well. So I saw some people saying, oh well, you need to sprout some of the seeds on like a wet paper or wet cotton and then plant them. Especially with the bamboo, I never grew bamboo from seed. There's so many different things that people say about bamboo. They say to like soak the seeds for days before planting them. Other people say no, you don't need to do that. Very confusing. So as I said, we're just trying and see what happens. We'll move on to this chili. So this is a white habanero. I was obviously taken aback from like the more flashy weird plants and got those. I have no clue about this specific pepper. I never had it, never seen it in real life. I did grow chili peppers last year, but they were just like sort of classic. I believe they're like Serrano classic chilies. They were fine, tiny, but fine. So these again, these are slightly bigger seeds. We're gonna put like 3 per little pot without putting them too close to each other. And this specifically says do not bury them too deep because that's one of the main causes of just loss of plants, basically. So again, little sprinkle of soil. This says not higher than the seeds, so we're gonna keep it quite little. And it also says to lightly press them. So I'm trying not to compact the soil too much because that obviously makes it difficult for the tiny little roots to expand. Let's just do what they say. So we did the strawberry, we did the chili pepper. Next, we shall do the black pepper. Why not? Black pepper's fun. So black pepper is Pineberry nigrum is the name of the plant. It's a tropical plant actually, so I'm not 100% sure if this can or could survive in the garden. I'm sure it definitely could survive in a pot, and you could probably just take it inside in the winter. I don't know if it would actually make peppers. So pepper seeds is just black pepper. I was not expecting that for some reason. So we have very little seeds. So I guess we're gonna do another one in here. Let's do the pumpkin. So this is a Japanese pumpkin. We did grow, again, it was listed in the weird ones. The difference about this one is that supposedly it's a very, very sweet pumpkin. We got pumpkin seeds. Once they do sprout, you can easily just take the little ball of soil apart and then just either plant them or just put them in a bigger pot. So we're gonna cover these as well. And then, quite important, because obviously until they grow and sometimes even after they grow, we have no idea what these are. So we're gonna take the little plastic lid that's on top and I'm gonna, with a marker, write on what these are. So it's very faint, but maybe you can make it, you cannot see anything. It's very faint, but this is just sort of to recognize what it is, because you will forget. Just gonna close it for the moment. Before putting them away, obviously we're gonna water them. Okay, so next up, we're gonna do our Chinese. We'll fill this again. Fill them in exactly the same way. We're gonna move on to our cucumber. I'm gonna move on to the bamboo because I'm quite interested in seeing how this grows. Okay, so the bamboo seeds are quite weird. They are these sort of very long needle-like seeds, and you're supposed to plant the widest part at the bottom. So we're gonna do that. As I said before, people have very strong opinions on how to plant bamboo, and I have no idea. Some do say to soak the seeds before, some say to not do that. The thing is, these seeds go in soil, then it then becomes wet and is put in a sort of a greenhouse environment. These are gonna go in on a shelf with grow lights in a warm house. So the thing is, yes, you could soak them, but they basically will soak anyway, just by virtue of being here. So I'm not 100% sure about the logistics of that. Probably they're right. So this might fail, but we're gonna try. Again, also I'm not sure how much to bury these. Yes, this is a giant bamboo, it's a big plant, but it has a weird sort of cycle. It's gonna be a very small plant if it grows for the whole first year of life, and second, and then slowly basically start growing from there. So it's not like it becomes huge immediately. This is a little flower. I got this very simply because me and my mom like it. So I have no idea what's the English name for this, but I will look it up and put it somewhere here. It's very pretty, and it's not particularly common in Italy. I believe the seeds are edible, and especially they're used for a lot of vegan recipes. I'm not sure if it's a specific variety or all of them. So I have some more seeds. I have some sort of rare old types of tomatoes that I got at a fair, and I have some black carrots, but obviously I understand this would just get very boring, so I'm gonna do the other ones off camera. But yeah, this is sort of how you prepare them. When you are done, obviously the soil is dry, so you want to water them. You can just use a watering can, but these are very tiny and there's not much soil. So I feel like the best way, especially if you keep them in the house where they're visible, you can kind of check on them in the next days and see if they dry out or not. You can just spray them. You want to keep them a little more wet in the first days because water just sort of helps reactivate the seeds and helps them, gives them a little boost to germinate. That's why people sometimes say to soak them. The same thing in the end. So you want to do that the first days. So I'm just going to put them on a shelf, like one of my plant shelves. I have many, and they're just going to live there. And hopefully in 2 to 4 weeks, these will sprout and I'll show you how they become. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope it was interesting, or at least, just good background noise. But yeah, thank you for watching. I have some videos coming up. I have some sewing again, but I am planning to do some sort of more diverse stuff. I want to make a video or two about Eurovision because I'm very passionate about that. And this year is in Italy, so obviously I want to talk about it. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. It's a great help. Be kind. I'll hope you have a nice day and go plant some stuff. Bye. So since I forgot to show it, this is the result. I just put them here next to my Monstera for company. Yeah, we'll see.